Hi, everybody. This is Chris Strub, the Giving Day guy. There's Lisa, Give Local York boss lady. Welcome to the replay of the 2025 Give Local York live stream orientation. We're going to get started in just a moment when I hit the admit all button, and all of our good friends are going to come streaming in the room. If you have any additional questions after you watch this replay, you can reach out to me. It's chrisstrub@gmail.com. Of course, Lisa and Casey are always on the case as well. So let's get started, Lisa. And here we go.
Let's do it.
This is actually, I know we have the live stream where I get to press a million buttons all day long. This is my favorite button to push of all of them, because you press admit all and then just all these amazing people just start like appearing on your screen at once. It's unbelievable. It's so cool. See, look at that. We got Janelle, we got Deb, Kathy's here. Matt Dorgan is hanging out again. There's Mary. Hi, Mary. All right. All right, guys, as we're getting going, again, thank you for joining. If you want to just do me a favor, unless your name is Lisa or Casey, please mute yourself. And then by the end of the 30 minutes here, we'll give you plenty of time. The real purpose of today is to answer all of your questions. So I'll read questions from the chat first as we go along, and then we'll have time to read through or to open the floor up to anyone that wants to jump in and ask their questions as well. I'm just going to give a moment here as I keep hitting admit, letting everybody in. Lisa, this is so much fun. This is like, we're our last little practice session before we get going.
I'm excited. I'm ready for it.
So we'll get started here in just a second. I see a lot of familiar faces. Lisa, why don't you say hi, introduce yourself, and maybe introduce Casey too, and then you want to throw it back to me and we'll get going.
Awesome. Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Lisa Barshinger, the new executive director here at Give Local York. We are so excited for Give Local York 2025. We have a lot of exciting things planned for the day, some that you don't even know about. But I will let Casey introduce herself.
Hi, I'm in a Starbucks, so this might sound a little weird, but my name is Casey Lockneys, and I am the Give Day Director of Give Local New York. I am the one that annoys all of your email inboxes and will continue to do so until the big day is over. And I'm excited to put on our first Give Local New York event as a team and see all of the good that comes out of the big day.
Very, very cool. Thank you, Casey. Thank you, Lisa. Just so we can see a lot of you guys have your video on, by a show of hands, how many of you guys, is this your first Give Local York as well? Because I think that's super cool. I see Ron's raising his hand, and yeah, gotcha. Great. Cool. Well, thank you so much for being part of this. Again, my name is Chris Strub, call myself the Giving Day guy. This will actually be my 6th Give Local York. I started back in the COVID year of May 2020. That was a lot of fun. And thankfully, we've been able to shift back up to Wellspan Park in the years since. And that's what we're going to do this year. So it's coming up real quick, actually. So next Friday, actually, we're going to kick off Give Local York Thursday evening and then run the live stream. So all the stuff we're going to be talking about today is going to be happening on Friday, May 2nd, of course, first Friday up in York. We will be starting that live stream bright and early at Wellspan Park and streaming all day long. There'll be a series of activities happening around town throughout the day. And we've got some new surprises that I'm going to explain, some new innovations and wrinkles that I'll explain here as we go along as well. So if you've been part of the live stream in the past, quick show of hands, how many of you guys have been on the stream with us before? There you go. Hi, everybody. Yep, that's cool. So cool to see. It's going to look and feel very similar to the last couple of years. There is one major wrinkle, and I'm going to introduce one more person. So Ron, do you want to take a moment and introduce yourself as the new host of Give Local York Live?
What's up, everybody? I am Ron Unger. For first time hosting. This should be a new thing. Super stoked about it. For those that don't know, a lot of people obviously know me in the York community as Lisa Barshinger's husband. I don't have a proper name. It's on my birth certificate, so we're just going to run with that. But I'm gladly riding her coattails when I move to the area. I will continue to do so, and as they say in the nonprofit world for the spouses, it's always other duties as assigned. So here to help out and have fun, and again, like make this like a thing. So and super excited to be working with you, Chris, as well. So.
For the record, he does have a name tag that says, "Hello, my name is Lisa Barshinger's husband." So hopefully you'll be wearing that day.
I will make sure every graphic that we have on the screen says the exact same thing there, boss. So I know who signs the checks here. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be back, of course, at Wellspan Park. Now, the biggest innovation that you guys are going to see this year, other than introducing Ron, will be the Kindness Caravan. And you know what, Lisa, do you want to talk about that? Because I know this was another big innovation that you guys are bringing on this year. You want to touch on what the Kindness Caravan is all about?
Yes, I would be happy to. So, Give Day on the Go in the Kindness Caravan is actually sponsored by York Traditions Bank, a division of ACNB. And so we are thrilled to bring them on board as well. And the idea behind it is think about the impact that it has when you're able to actually showcase the work that's being done out there, in the field, what you're doing day to day. So the Kindness Caravan are 3 digital billboard trucks provided by See Me Rolling, and they are truly getting out into York County, every area of the county. We are hitting Stewartstown, we're hitting Hanover, Redland, Dover, Dallastown. We are truly going all around York County and talking in real time on the live stream about the things that our nonprofits are doing in the community. So you did have the option to either come into the stadium and be interviewed on the live stream there, or have the trucks go out to you to where you are.
Great. Yeah. Now, if you know anything about Lisa, you know that we tried to cover, and anything about me, to be honest with you, we tried to cover as many different stops throughout the day as we possibly could. I know Lisa had a couple long nights with Google Maps trying to figure out how we can get truck from here to here to here to here. So when I tell you that we are stretching these trucks to the limits on the day, we are really trying to hit as many different locations as possible. It's the same.
In fact, I almost didn't give Chris a lunch break, and we had to have a lengthy conversation about this because there will be a moment where he needs to get something to eat. So when he says we are stretching them far and wide, I mean, we have accounted for every minute of the day.
This is actually true. The Giving Day guy is not the Giving Day kid anymore. These crazy hours. So the other great news to share is that every organization that signed up for the live stream again in 2025 is being featured. We couldn't obviously get to everyone with the van, but between the van, the virtual appearances, and of course the in-person appearances at Wellspan Park, every single group that signed up is going to be on the schedule again this year. So if you're watching this replay, or maybe you're hearing about this and you're not on the schedule next year, make sure you sign up. Because we really want to accommodate as many groups as we possibly can. And I'm very proud to say for as many years as we've been doing this, we've accommodated every single group that wants to be a part of it. So we're very grateful that you're here. So I'm looking at the schedule now. We are going to kick things off at 7 a.m. at Wellspan Park and go all the way through to just about when that ball game is about to begin. So we'll shut the stream down around 5:30 p.m. As in past years, each hour is going to be its own live stream. So 7, 8, 9, 10 throughout the day. And each stream will start separately. So if you're watching at 9:30 and then you want to watch until 10, you're going to have to click and start into the new stream. The other big difference with the schedule this year, though, is that we are assigning each group individual time slots down to the minute. So if you could do me a favor and just nod that you got your schedule and you know exactly what time you're going to be on. Lisa, we can see everybody's nodding, so they know that you do need to be at Wellspan Park at least 10, ideally about 15 minutes before your time slot begins. That is for the folks that are showing up in person. I'll get to the caravan in a moment. But if you're showing up in person, so your organization was listed in white on the schedule, we want you there about 10 to 15 minutes beforehand. You're welcome to come down a bit earlier. Again, the setup is going to be very similar to prior years. We'll have set up space in a suite. We'll probably have some drinks. Mary always brings some York peppermint patties, stuff like that. So that's why we had to put her on in the morning. But it's a fun atmosphere. You want to come down and hang out. You're more than welcome to, but just make sure you're there at least 10 minutes before you go on. For the caravan folks, we really need you to be ready about 12 to 15 minutes before your scheduled time. Okay, so that van, as Lisa just mentioned, is going to be zooming all around town. Please make sure that you're ready when that van arrives. We're going to have teams of 2 out in each van, A, B, and C, and they're going to go out and actually film a spot there with you. So you're going to be calling in virtually to the live stream from the camera of the folks that are driving around in the van. Okay, so please feel free. If you have someone on site, you can do a live stream to your own page. If you wanted to send someone out with a phone, you can post Instagram stories and take pictures, stuff like that. It's going to be a lot of fun, but it will go quick. And we do want to make sure to apologize in advance. Once that caravan team is done, they're going to have to hit the road to get to their next stop because this is pretty tightly scheduled. So it will be a call-in opportunity. And again, those call-ins will be all throughout the day at specific times. So you've got your specific time and you'll know exactly what time you're going on. Each segment throughout the day, unless otherwise noted, is going to be about 6 to 7 minutes. So they're scheduled 7 minutes apart, but there is going to be about a 30-second countdown in between each segment. And that's for the purpose, again, if you've seen prior years, it's so that each segment sort of starts cleanly, so that if people want to tune in and just see a specific segment, they can see each one and we're not kind of bouncing around from group to group and changing microphones, stuff like that. So again, it's going to look and feel very similar to prior years. The best place to watch the live streams will be the Give Local York Facebook page. And the reason why we say that in particular is because if you're commenting on Facebook, we can put your comments up on the screen. So if you want to join in and be part of the conversation, maybe you have a question that you want to ask of the organization that's on, or you just want to give Lisa's husband a hard time, whatever it is, you can comment and we will put your comments, I will put your comments up on the screen and myself or Ron will read them off and you can feel like you're part of the broadcast as well. That's a great pro tip for some of you guys, especially if you've done this in the past. You might want to have someone from your organization watching as you're on, and you can even put a direct link in the comments to your donation page. You can support the person that's being interviewed. It's a really great way to feel like you're part of the conversation as it's going along.
In addition, Chris, sorry not to cut you off, but one of our prizes this year, in fact, the largest prize in Give Local York history, $5,000 up for grabs, that is being done through the live stream comments. So if your organization is nominated and named in a comment on the live stream, you will be entered into the random drawing for that $5,000.
Yeah, and we'll have Lisa's husband prompting that right at the start of Ron, sorry. We'll have Ron prompting that at the start of each hour to make sure you know exactly how to enter and what that means and the timing of all that and everything. So just from a logistical perspective, it'll be just like prior years with the setup at the ballpark. I'll have a mic clip to me. Ron will have a mic clip to him, and then we'll have 2 microphones for the guest that's appearing in person. So you can have, you can feel free to bring more people than that to the stadium if you'd like, but we'll really have kind of 2 bar stools and 2 seats available for your organization. If you do bring anyone else that feels like they need to be on camera, you can kind of like unclip the mic and hand it back to them if you have to, but 1 or 2 is generally the best practice for that appearance. If you sent in a video, So you got my email yesterday. Everybody got my email yesterday. Terry, Dan, Erica. Okay. That I screwed up the form. You have this opportunity yesterday and today to send in that video that you want played during your segment. You can drop it right into that Google Drive folder. And if you see it in the folder, that means I've got it. So no need to say, hey, Chris, did you get my video? Like if it's in that list, that's the same exact list that I'm looking at. So you don't need to reconfirm that your video is there if you see it in that folder. Okay. Let's pause for a moment there, and then I'll get into some of the content. What are we going to talk about? What should we wear? Stuff like that. Do we have any pressing questions? I see Casey is also answering questions from the chat, which is great. And I have, I think, 6 different AI robots also watching this meeting, which is great. I'm going to need Lisa to promise me that we don't hire an AI giving day guy in the future. I'm not ready for that step yet. So
Missed you too much, Chris.
do we have any other pressing questions before we keep going here?
I think the biggest one that came through the chat is talking about when people are joining through Zoom, a virtual link.
Yeah.
How are you sending them the link to join?
So here's the deal with the virtual guests. So most of you guys are going to join in person. So to most of you, this information doesn't really matter. The See Me Rolling, the Caravan folks, they'll have their devices to stream in. So you don't need to worry about this either. But for a select few of you guys, there are these blue rows. Blue means you are joining virtually from your device. I will make sure to email. What I'm actually going to do is probably email everyone once we have this, the stream scheduled and stuff. I will include the information on how to join the stream virtually, but it's very simple. It's the same exact thing that we've done in prior years. You can join from any device that has a camera and a microphone. So ideally the highest powered phone that you have or tablet. You can also join from a laptop as long as you have a webcam and a microphone set up. And you're going to want to join just about 10 minutes before your scheduled time there. When you join, you will see myself and Ron, and you'll actually see the broadcast happening. So we'll give you plenty of time to test that out. You'll be able to join in. So I will email more information about that, but it's just for a couple of you guys this year. However, Casey, if something happens on the giving day or right before the giving day, let's say you get real sick or something comes up and you need to join the stream virtually, because we have this tech set up, if you say, oh man, like hey, we're supposed to be on at 8:27 a.m., but we can't make it there in person, but can we still join live? Yes, as long as you keep your time slot. If you join in live, we can still conduct that same interview live, like virtually. So we'll make sure that everyone has that as a backup option, just in case something happens, before the giving day where you need to swap out. Let's talk quickly, and then I'm going to leave plenty of time about the content or for questions. But in terms of what we're going to talk about, please come prepared to talk about, of course, your organization, your mission, your message, but also importantly, why you choose to participate in Give Local York, and also why and how those dollars are going to be used, the dollars that you're raising on Give Local York. How will those be used, right? So those will be the main questions that Ron and I will kind of ask throughout the day. Then in addition to that, when you filled out the form, we asked you a question. Hey, is there anything specific that you would like us to talk about during your appearance on the live stream? So a lot of you guys gave great responses to that. Ron and I will have that in front of us as well. So we're going to try and drive our discussion with you based on what you said you wanted us to talk about. So those are the big things. Why do you participate in Give Local York? The basics of who are you, and the content that you provided in that sheet is important, because we're going to take that and kind of run that back at you during the live stream itself. Visually, please feel free to stand out. We want you to dress the part, so you can certainly wear anything you want that represents your organization or your message. Sometimes people have special t-shirts or sweatshirts. You guys know I'm a big hat guy. I've got my Give Local York beanie on today. So anything that really represents you, who you are, and the work that you do is going to add visually to that conversation. We also definitely encourage you to bring props, and a lot of you guys have done that over the years at Wellspan Park, you'll have like a table in front of you where if you need to put down any sort of items, if you have a little like poster board, sometimes people bring a flag. And certainly some of you guys representing animal organizations know that really the biggest reason why I do this job is to kiss dogs on a live stream. So feel free to bring your domesticated pets into Wellspan Park as you'd like. And we'll have a good time with it. So if you bring props, we will definitely make sure to show those off. We have about 10 minutes to go until the top of the hour. So we'll look back here again at the chat and give you guys an opportunity to unmute yourselves, jump in. If you have any questions, either for me and or you've got a great opportunity to ask questions of Casey and Lisa right now as well. What other questions do you guys have? I know that your community is super comfortable and loves this live stream, and we have a lot of fun with it and stuff. And a lot of you guys are returning faces, which I love to see. So some of you guys are probably like, I can see Mary's like, yeah, I've heard him do this 6 times now. Like, I get it. But especially for you new guys, if you have any questions, this is a great time to ask.
Chris, we do have a question in the chat about the Kindness Caravan and how they'll have back and forth dialogue with you and more specifically Ron.
That is a real great question that we are going to figure out. So because of the
I did answer it for record.
Yeah,
that we're providing what normally would Chris and Ron would have to our volunteers that are on the trucks visiting these locations. So they're still going to have a dialogue just with these volunteers in place of being in person with Ron and Chris.
Yeah. So the tricky part for those of you being featured on the caravan is that it's going to be very difficult for you to hear me and Ron. Right. So we'll be able to hear you. And of course, the live stream will be able to hear you. But because the audio is coming back through that device and then to our host, it's going to be very difficult for you to hear anything that me and Ron might be saying. So it's probably going to end up being we're going to throw it to the caravan. You're going to have that conversation for a few minutes. And then you guys in the van are going to throw it back to us. So the van people are going to be able to hear me and Ron. You probably won't. So again, this is, it's a little bit trickier because we're trying something new this year. Obviously the payoff is going to be amazing because we're going to be able to show off so many different things happening around town, and have the vans, of course, out on the streets. But just know that sadly, you'll only be able to hear Ron talking for the other 8.5 hours that will be live throughout the day if you want to tune in for the rest of the stream there. That's a great question, though. Okay. Is there back and forth dialogue for the blue live streams too? Erica, yes. So that definitely will be probably mostly Ron and then me. As you guys have seen in years past, I talk a little bit and make the host talk a lot. So you'll mostly be dialoguing with Ron in the virtual spots there. Okay, and Casey's answering the question about the prize nominations, which will be really cool. And we'll of course prompt that at the start of the live streams. Other questions? Don't make me call on anybody. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to end up giving you guys some time back, I'm sure. Might have to call on some folks that I recognize though. Matt, you must make me cry. That is another term of my employment. Building bridges for Brianna.
It's going to happen this year. I'm sorry. I got a good one.
A little bit of a spoiler. The stories, Matt, do you just want to take 30 seconds just to share about, like, there's some new folks here. Like, what's the experience like as an organization participating in the live stream each year?
It's phenomenal. It really helps the organization and people learn about what you do. We had a lot of people that didn't know about our organization through the live stream. They learned, they reached out, they got help, and we saved lives just because learning about the organization through the live stream and Give Local York. So thank you guys.
Matt, we appreciate you so, so much. And that's something that I always try and remind folks, not just when you guys are on, but throughout the day as well, that oftentimes, again, from a social media perspective, we often measure success based on engagement and stuff like that. The success is this gentleman right here, you know, Matt Dorgan, and more importantly, the organization and the lives that have been saved, you know, through being able to share messages like this. And that happens a lot. It happens a lot with, you know, other giving days and other organizations that folks might not jump on and immediately comment and stuff. But because we're providing them that core information, especially when it comes to organizations that are providing help, people don't want to comment and ask for help sometimes, but they will call and they'll email and they'll come down to the office, you know? So that's why we do what we do, you know, and that's why I do what I do. And I just want to, if we don't have too many more questions, just say thank you so much to all of you guys for taking the time. We absolutely recognize how valuable all of your time is, both today and especially on Give Local York Day. And we hope that your efforts and our efforts combined can really help bring results similar to what we've seen with Building Bridges for Brianna and so many other successful organizations through Give Local York. Do we have any other last questions here before we wrap things up? I don't see any more. So Lisa, unless you have any wise words you want to wrap us up with?
Wise words. Just you know, we're down to single digits here, I think, number of days. And we are all gearing up. I know our kindness crews are excited to get out there in their caravans and hear all of your stories, just as we're excited to hear your stories at the stadium as well. So good luck to all of you as you put your final prep work in leading up to Give Local. And we look forward to celebrating all of you and the York County nonprofit community as a whole.
Thank you, Lisa. One last quick reminder, if you have any additional questions about the live stream, you can direct them to me via email. Sadly, I'm flying to Hawaii on Thursday. So if I reply at a weird time, I apologize. And then if anything comes up on the live stream day, you will have my cell phone. Please send me a text message. And in that text message, please also tell me who you are, because I can't tell you how many times I've gotten a text from a random York, PA phone number that says, sorry, I'm late. I'm like, who are you? You know, remember, we're dealing with like 60 different groups on the day. So just send me a text, say, hi, it's Mary, et cetera, and let me know that something is going on and we can accommodate. But please do not call. I'm probably going to be live on the air. And if you call, it'll screw up our devices and stuff. So texting is the way to get an answer. Final reminder, if you are dropping a video in, I'm going to close that off at the end of the night tonight, because I'm going to load all those videos in the morning tomorrow. So if you don't have a video loaded in, you can do it today. But if you don't, and you don't have a video, please don't stress about it. That's all for now. Thank you again. And I will see you guys, geez, next week. That is insane. Up in York. I can't wait. And I'll see you soon. Thanks, Lisa. Casey.
Thank you.
Lisa's husband. Appreciate you. Have a good day, everybody.